Hello and welcome to step 3 when I'm going to talk about fonts and colours. Now we've got some high quality imagery on our webpage, we need to build on that to really make it come alive. So whilst proper branding creation isn't the focus, we're still going to put a bit of thought into some of the key components, like I said at the start of the video, namely font and colour. Once you've got those down, I'm also then going to show you how to create a really basic yet free text-based logo, which is good enough to get you going, assuming you don't already have one. Of course, if you do have a logo, you should already have some colour or colours in the mix, which is great. Just make sure that you take what I'm about to explain and then build on those colours, but make sure everything stays consistent. Consistency is absolutely essential when you're starting to create the visuals for your business. You simply can't have a website and a logo and any other visual, whether it be printed materials or other graphics, feeling like they don't belong to each other. So let's look at fonts to start with. Elementor uses Google Fonts, and I want you to go to this web address here. It's canva.com, canva.com/learn/best-google-font-combinations. Canva is something that you really would benefit from getting to know. It's another wonderful online resource, like the sort of design side of Unsplash. Unsplash is photography, Canva's wonderful for design. We're going to use it for that free logo creation later. So if you go to this article, it basically is a wonderful introduction to Google Font, and more importantly, Google Font pairing. What it explains is how, choosing a font isn't just about how it makes you feel or how it looks good. It's also important to choose fonts that kind of fit together, hopefully, from a design perspective. Now, as I said at the start of the video, we're not going to get too bogged down in sort of proper brand creation because we're just not getting into that level of depth here. This whole idea is that we're getting something going pretty quickly and easily, but with some proper design pedigree, some professional thought in the back of it. So this article is a nice introduction just to explain the importance of choosing the right font combinations. What is also known as font pairing. It's to do with how two fonts together can have a really nice, not just a nice effect on the way it just looks, but also how it feels. It can influence feeling. So I'm not going to go into massive depth on this. It obviously is personal to what you're trying to achieve. The template, just so you know, uses Railway for the body text, i.e. the writing, so to speak, and it uses a font called Montserrat for the headings. Railway and Open Sans is a lovely combination, used that before. If you just scroll along, here's Montserrat, the one I just mentioned. I'm using that more for heading, which I think that is suggesting there, and then Oswald for the body text. But if you just read down, it's a lovely introduction. It's not a particularly long article. It gives some nice font pairings for you to think about, and hopefully by the end of it you should manage to come up with something for your web page. So let's move on to colour. So open another window. It's also at canva.com/learn, and the article at the end of that link is 100-colour-combinations, the article being called 100 colour combinations and how to apply them to your designs. So colour is, I'm a colour lover, I have to be honest. Much like a good piece of imagery, colour really can make a design on a page come alive. It doesn't just kind of have visual impact, it can very much affect mood. It can really sort of influence how somebody might feel about your web page, and of course thus about your business and endeavour. So again, without going into massive depth, I'm not going to sort of spend half an hour going through this in any great depth. Let's just sort of have a brief run down this article and introduce sort of well-known colour combos relating around what you wouldn't believe is actually colour psychology. That's right, there's loads of psychology in colour. It gives you some base ideas about how you might go about trying to design a basic colour palette. Like I say, without labouring it and spending too long, don't invest tons of time in this when you're not investing tons of time and money in the rest of brand creation. Like I said, the assumption here is that we're not doing that to like a proper professional depth. But you will learn something, and not only that, hopefully, then when you go down the article further, it will make sense as to why I did imagery first. Because if you used Unsplash and got yourself some nice, what obviously looks like professional grade photography, and you listened to my advice about making sure that the colours and shade ranges in the images were all similar, you can see now how a palette can be extracted. I'm going to show you in the next video, how you can actually get these codes from imagery on screen. I'm going to use this little tool up here, which is called Colorzilla, which I'll come to, as I say. And you can look at the photography you've already got on your web page, and you can possibly extract a color palette from it. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you scroll down the page, you can see some great examples of the technique. Stunning color palettes from high quality photography. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to do the color extraction, as I mentioned, and then add your fonts and your colors to your web page using Elementor.